As far as first impressions with the device, I don't have a lot to say, but I thought I would bring in the experts here and tell you first and foremost what their thoughts are. Kids, what do you guys think of this new phone?
I think it's pretty cool.
What do you like about it?
I like that it folds.
It folds? What about you, Bentley? What do you think?
I never saw a phone that would fold, so it's kind of epic.
It is pretty epic. Do you guys think this would be fun for watching videos on?
I like that it's blue too.
All right, so would you guys like this phone here, or would you guys rather like an iPhone like this?
I like this one.
You like this one? Okay, well there you guys go. Okay, let's dive right into it. Why is the Surface Duo 2 so impressive for those of you that are in digital planning and note-taking? Well, first off, I think of this as much as a productivity tablet as I do a phone. A lot of times I'm using a phone, I'm using earbuds or I'm on speakerphone, and the idea of having this up against my face is not something I naturally think of. But if I do need to do that, I can make a call with the Surface Duo 2 as well as the Surface Duo. But really what I look at this device as a productivity monster. I mean, the idea of having these dual screens right in front of me wherever I go is just ultimately just impressive. Now, I went through the last 24 hours and I looked at this device compared to my previous device and I said to myself, what makes this device stand out when I look at it compared to the first generation? Well, the things that naturally stood out to me was the form factor. This one here is slightly thinner, and if you have that bumper on it, the bumper is noticeably thinner. The first one kind of covered a good chunk of the body. This one here really only covers the edge. So with that being said, it feels thinner. The other thing I noticed is the weight of it, even though it's thinner, is about approximately the same weight when I'm holding it, but it still feels very strong and very stable. Now, the other thing that I thought was really impressive about this is we still have that ability to have that pen right on the device when we were able to use it. The next thing that really stood out as another feature that I thought was a nice add was the ability to have that notification bar, that time right in the bind of the device itself. You've seen that in a number of videos. I think it's a nice little feature. Is it something you think I'm going to gravitate towards whenever I want to check the time or see what notifications? I don't know, but I don't think so at the same time. So the last thing I want to cover when it comes to the form factor of this device is the camera bump out itself. Now, when I was using this device in my hand taking notes, it didn't bother me, it wasn't in a way, but when I went to lay this device on the actual counter, it definitely created a little bit of height on one side. Now, did the device rock? No, the device did not rock. It stayed very smooth, very level. I was able to write on any area of the surface and it didn't like rock like you would like one of those stools at a bar that was built in the 70s here in Wisconsin where you sit down and kind of jigger back and forth. No, that's not the case. But if you are looking for a really good bar in Wisconsin, check out a supper club. You're gonna wanna get an old fashioned. Trust me, if you've never been to Wisconsin, you're going to want to check out an old fashioned here in Wisconsin. So if you're from Wisconsin, you know what an old fashioned is. So by all means, tell me about your preference when it comes to old fashioned. Are you a bitters? Are you a sweet kind of person? And do you do whiskey or brandy? What's your choice? I personally like sweet and I like brandy. So there you go. That's my old fashioned story. But let's dive into looking at how the software works on this device. So one of the first things I want to point out with this device is the ability to do group tabs. Now, if you're a note taker, I can open up my note and I can have that go across both screens. I can have my calendar on the one side and my navigation tool on the left side. I can go ahead and hit full screen and now have both my note section as well as my daily planner on the screen itself. But what happens if I want to use this device for something other than just note taking? One of the big advantages I find with having this dual screen is being able to have one application open and then take notes in another application. And one application I commonly do that with is Mail. So I created this Mail Note group. So when I open that up, it's going to have my Mail on one side, and on the other side, I'm going to have my calendar. Now, to me, this is huge because what I'm able to do is I'm able to thumb through my emails and see any tasks that come out of them. How many of you guys use your email as a task manager? What does it look like and feel like if we can see that we jump in, there's this email here, conversation with we see this conversation here, and I can put in reply to Yetzi email. So what it allows me to do is go into my actual task list in my planner and harvest those tasks out of my email so that I can filter through that email and clear that folder out so I don't get any anxiety or any thoughts of having all those unfinished tasks in my email. And also too, by having those tasks in the planner, I'm able to prioritize those and maximize them. And if I need to filter them off, or if I need to send them off to a colleague or schedule them with somebody else, I can easily do so. We talk a lot about primary and secondary calendars here at the Key to Success family. And the reason for that is your primary calendar is used to build out your vision, accomplish those goals, and indicate what your key tasks are each and every day. But your secondary calendar is your electronic calendar. It's either Google or iCal, and it's that place where you have appointments and triggers for notifications on meetings or calls that you need to be on. So with this device, I have the ability now, one of the things that I did was create a calendar note. So I can go ahead, open up that group, and now I can see my calendar for today on what's taking place as far as activities. And then I also have my calendar here on the right. This easily allows me to notate what I have planned on my electronic calendar and in my Key to Success planning system. And this way I can easily jump back and forth and put in notations and activities in both without really creating a lot of wasted time. And that's one powerful tool with the Key to Success planning system. You can easily create these groups by going ahead, clicking on the application, clicking on group as your primary, and then go through and select your secondary. And in this case, I selected calendar and hit done. So now I have a group that's called Voxer and calendar, and I can go ahead and name that group as I wish. And I'm just gonna call it, Vox Cal. And now I have that group, and when I click on it, it'll open up my Voxer application and open my calendar. So utilizing groups really allows you to maximize your productivity with this dual screen. All right, so now we're gonna show you a few tools in OneNote that you can use for handwriting. The Slim Pen 2, in my opinion, is not much different than the Slim Pen 1 when it comes to note-taking on the device itself. I will say having that little finer tip is a little nicer, but still the functionality is pretty close to the same. All right, so one of the first things I'm gonna show you is just the writing functionality. I have the ability to go in here, click on my pen tool, and I can select the thickness and I can select the color. And I like to have it pretty fine, and I like black. So click on that. And here I can write out a key action. Now, I can also go ahead, and if I make a mistake, flip the pen around and erase that. And then I can also hit undo and bring it back. And the next thing we can do is we can actually even highlight that. So we can go here and you can highlight that. So one feature that's nice, if I go real light, it's a thin, but if I push harder, it's thicker. So I can show you that one more time. Thin, and then hard. And you can see the stroke thickness greatly changes between the two. And then I can also use the lasso tool to go ahead and move that. I can also resize it a little bit. So beyond handwriting, you also have the ability to go ahead and type in a planner. So I can click on the type tool and I can type meeting with Sam at Grind, which happens to be one of my favorite places to have coffee. So personally, I haven't made a decision on which one I prefer, but over the next week, I'll be able to do so, and I'll share that with each and every one of you. Guys, if you haven't already, like I said before, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot. If you want to learn more about the Key to Success planning system and how you can use it on this device, as well as several other mobile tablets and computers, go ahead, check out the description and learn more about our planning system. It's going to make a world of difference for you. It has for me and so many others. I'm Brandon Bonifer, and thank you for taking a few minutes of your time as we embark on this planning journey together. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one, and God bless each and every one of you. So there you guys have it. That's your expert first impressions. The folding phone is something that's pretty cool. We're gonna compare this phone to the Samsung Fold here. So if you haven't already, go ahead, hit the subscribe button. What else?
And stay tuned.
And like our channel.